Let's start business assumption making class. This week and next week, we are going to talk about benchmarking assumption making as a part 3 of this semester. Until now, we've learned two techniques to apply for making assumptions for business planning. The first one was fairly estimate. The second one was financial goal-based assumption, focusing on the break-even profit. Now we're going to talk about benchmark-based assumption. First of all, what is benchmark? This is a definition of a benchmark. Standard or a set of standards used as a point of reference. This is a keyword, point of reference, for evaluating performance or level of quality. Benchmarks may be drawn from a firm's own experience, from the experience of other firms in the industry, or from legal requirements such as environmental regulations. Okay, the keyword is a point of reference. And if you do not have any specific numbers or the information to use as your assumption, you have to refer to something else. And then you can copy the number itself in order to make your own assumption numbers. But you have to carefully think about whether you can just simply copy the numbers for your business plan or whether you need to make some adjustment based on the difference between yourself and your point of reference. Now let's look at the process of the benchmarking. This is quite simple. First, you need to find a close example or a close reference. In many cases, you can refer to a competitor or competitors in the same industry, or you can find a reference as a very close or similar company in the industry. Then, once you identify the reference or benchmarking reference company, then you need to make some adjustment if necessary. Because if the size of the company is not the same, or place of area or the market is not the same, you may need to add some adjustment. You cannot simply copy the exact number of the company. For example, if you start a store in the city, and let's assume there were already existing competitors. Once you start a new store in the middle of such situation, you are a newcomer and you are new competitors. So once you enter the market, because of your new shop, the competition in the area will go up. So the balance of the competition may not be the same as before. In such case, you cannot use the existing number as they are. Considering the higher or more severe competition among those shops, you have to make some adjustment. But it's way better than have no information if you have the reference numbers or benchmarking numbers. And finally, make your assumptions based on the benchmarking data plus adjustments you made. When you do benchmarking, and what would you benchmark? That is the first question. And next question is, what adjustment are you going to make? In general, you can benchmark the total revenue because you never know how much revenue you will get once you start your own new business. But the question is something like this. The size of the business or size of the company or the product itself, is it exactly the same or not? How about the price? So all those difference has to be taken into consideration for your adjustment. Obviously, unit price, can you beat your competitors with the same price? Or do you need to lower your selling price? So these kind of adjustments is something you have to think about. But if you don't have any information about the right price to start your business, yes, if you find or if you've identified the existing competitors, and then if you know the price they are selling the product for, then you can benchmark. That is maybe a market price. So you can follow or you can use those price information for your assumption. But you have to carefully think about whether you can deliver the same value of the product as the competitors do. And number of sales is the same. If you are just new startup, then brand power works. So you have to think about you have the weaker brand power than your competitors, which you benchmark, then sometimes you may lower your estimation of the sales amount, also total sales volume or the sales amount. So this is the adjustment you have to make. Let's think about these questions. I want you to stop the video while you are thinking about these questions. For example, if you plan your new business A through D respectively, which company would you benchmark? What parameter or parameters would you benchmark? What adjustment would you make? The first one is cola drink business in Japan. Are you going to benchmark other cola companies, or would you benchmark other drinking companies, or would you benchmark something else? Like maybe cafe or McDonald's. How about B? Convenience store business in Japan? The same question. Would you benchmark other convenience stores as direct competitors? Or would you benchmark other grocery stores or any small shops? And which brand? These are the questions you have to answer. How about C? A small coffee cafe in Wadamachi. Are you going to benchmark other cafes in the same place? Or are you going to benchmark the small coffee cafe in other places or similar places, not in Wadamachi? Or are you going to benchmark other restaurants such as the fast food or McDonald's? What is the right benchmark? You do not have to choose only one to benchmark. You can benchmark several targets at the same time. Then you can keep the balance when you make an assumption numbers. How about D? A small startup of website design business in Japan. So the location may not matter in this case. And what kind of the company, what size of the company would you benchmark to make your assumptions? Let's stop the video now and take some time and think about how and what are you going to benchmark for those cases. finally, this is what we have learned so far. For example, if you need to make an assumption about the price in your business case, from market side, you can benchmark your competitors or similar business in the market in order to know the market price. So from the marketing viewpoint, you will see what is the right price if you benchmark some existing players in the market. How about right-hand side, the cost? Yes, if you can get a cost information of the target or benchmarking target, which may be rare, but if it's possible, they can be very powerful information to make a cost assumptions. At the same time, if you use goal-based assumption methods, and you can find a right number to achieve a zero profit or some positive profits, and what is the right cost estimation, a reasonable cost estimation from goal-based method, assumption method. So I want you to look at what is the right price from both sides, market side and cost side. And then if you keep the good balance, you will see the right range of the price you have to apply in your business model. So don't rely on just one side. Marketing side, yes, but it may be financially, it may not make financial sense if you do not look at the cost side. So, but if you look at only from the cost side, the price may not work in the market. So from cost side, the price should be something here, and then from the market side, the price should be something here. Then make some adjustment and to find the right place, right price to be used for your assumption. So I want you to combine some techniques which you learned so far and find a right assumption number. This is assignment for the next week. Let's assume you will start a new Uber business for YNU students for transportation from YNU to Yokohama Station. Here's our questions. First, identify companies, services, business to benchmark. 2. Reasonably assume the amount of the fee is for one way to Yokohama Station from YNU by benchmarking your competitors or your targets. And 3. Reasonably assume the total monthly sales amount. Briefly explain how you reached the amount. Okay, good luck and see you in the next week.